Hola, soy Dora. Do you know about the deciduous forest? What's it about? How does it work? And what are some problems? Well, deciduous forests are one of the most important habitat areas since many wildlife depend on it for its primary source of food and habitat. But let's start with some important points like how genetic structure, the ecosystem, and its species impact can affect it. In the Northern American deciduous forest, like the Apalachicola National Forest, we can see a large genetic structure which has been greatly influenced by climate change in the geologic period about 21,000 years ago. This is when a sheet of ice extended to most northern areas and many species recolonized. It was only recognized because of the genetic structure in plant populations, which were manifest due to reduced genetic diversity across newly expanded range of species. Because of the glacial expansion, I guess. On the Apalachicola National Forest, you'll find gently rolling terrain and moist lowlands, where pine and savanna provide refuge for many amphibians and wildflowers. Its soil is a grayish-brown colored podzol, which means that it's limited for production use. Despite that, this forest is still able to maintain biodiversity, local climate, and produce oxygen! This stabilizes weather patterns in northern Florida as well as lowering effects of greenhouse gases. They prevent pollution of cities and even other biomes by sticking particles and aerosols on leaf surfaces, absorbing and by slowing down the air movements that make them fall to the surface. Florida has a total of 4,368 species living there, and much of this is due to its forests. Some examples of species that live there include
raccoons, possums, squirrels, along with many different birds such as blue jays, cardinals, and chickadees.
Despite having a large amount of species, only 3 in this forest are endangered: the Florida panther, black bear, and eastern indigo snake. Now, what can make this biome unsuccessful? Well, several factors are chipping away at these forests, which could eventually lead to their extinction. Humans are obviously one of the main reasons, since we cause landscape fragmentation that harms species of both larger and smaller habitats, which can lead to selections of species being forced to coerce with each other, which can lead to inbreeding. Forest is used recreationally for boating, fishing, and hiking, which can also harm its environment due to littering and possible overfishing over time, but these forests are typically also used for hardwood, which is for construction, or to make charcoal for cooking. The natural negatives to this biome are mainly parasites and pathogens. Pathogens could cause the loss of some or even all members in the native species, but these levels of pathogens could increase due to wildlife recreation and fires. So don't cause any fires. Speaking of wildlife, species residing in these forests can also cause damage as well. For example, there was a problem where deer would use their antlers against trees, which caused fraying and eventually dug deeper and deeper into the tree, which if this problem wasn't stopped, then we'd have trees looking like this. There can also be biological invasions, like when black lotus will compete with the native species. It can change food webs and transmit diseases. Such invasions can also cause the supportive spread of herbivores, which can end up eating all the plants, and then everything just becomes a desert. So, I mean, well, now that we know all about the deciduous forest, what is that?